Receiving transmission. Decrypting. Decryption successful. Transmission begins. Year 264, month 12, winter. Exile's End. It is liberating to be able to use the wave so freely. I do not have to mark a transmission priority or emergency to know it shall reach its mark. I only wish this had happened sooner by days or even hours. There was a window, but it closed before I could launch my missive through it, and I fear that it shall not open again. My heart hurts. It has hurt for 12 years, of course, but that dull ache has once again become acute. Until recently, I at least had the comfort to see her as I worked, to watch her bloom and grow, marked by the scars of our parting, but tended by able gardeners in my stead. To become the woman I always dreamed she could be, and so much more. Once she left my sight, left the realm where the wave held sway, bile rushed to supplant the blood in my veins. A sour unease grew within me. She would not be safe, this much I knew, but would she even have a chance? I knew that if she did, she would succeed, but so many things rested in so many unfamiliar hands. When she emerged from the sun, cloaked in power and fury, the relief was a balm for my soul, purging the bile and making my veins new. When she passed out of sight again, what felt like mere moments later, those fresh passages filled with a liquid dread. The enemies she goes to face, I know them not, none of us do. For ages, we have watched and recorded all that passes within our realm, but there are endless worlds beyond that are as unknowable to us as the void. It is there that she passes now to do battle with who knows what. For us. She and her friends, should they return? No, they shall. When they return, they will have learned something new, even to the record. Will you release me then, at last, to speak to her again? I have paid a long debt to the record. You saved me, it is true, but debts wear on even the most patient among us, and patience was never a virtue of my blood. To trade an endless debt to Gov for a seemingly endless debt to the record chafes. And being kept from my child rubs my soul raw. Soon my patience will end. If she returns, when she returns, triumphant and terrible and glorious, I shall go to her, though all the forces of the universe may stand in my way. All that to say, consider this my final notice. I will not ask again. Stand in my way at your own peril. Agent Lou Sentis, Record Archivist, Exile's End. Welcome back, everyone. This is the finale of Specters of a Broken Sun. I want to acknowledge that this podcast is produced on the unceded territory of the Katzie, Kwikwetlem, Stalo, Kwantlen, Stz'uminus, and Musqueam people in the treaty land of the Tsawwassen First Nation. Please support Indigenous land protectors, as well as Indigenous people of all stripes. You can visit the hashtag Settler Saturday on Twitter to find people to directly support. And that is the cause that I will continue to boost in this season and moving into the future. This is the final session we are going to record for Specters of a Broken Sun. It's the final session we're going to record using Scum and Villainy, a game by Stras Acimovic and Leboef-Little, based on the Forge in the Dark framework. And hopefully it's not the last time we see these characters, but I suppose only time will tell. I'm Matt, your friendly guide. My pronouns are he, they. You can find me on Twitter at Ycaliber or follow the show at Broken Sun RPG. You can also visit our comprehensive website at brokensunrpg.com. Today, I am joined by four wonderful individuals who are going to help us bring this story home. I'm just going to go by the order in the chat over here. So first up, we have Keekers.
Hello, everyone. This is me, Keekers, also known as Be a Space Cat, on various places on the interwebs. Today I'm playing Keva Jarma. Her pronouns are she/her, and my pronouns are she/her. And thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. We are also joined by Michael Blood.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Mike Bloodstill. My pronouns are they, them. I'm going to be reprising my role as Emran Pak, he, him. And you can find me on Twitter at GoodSirBlood if you're so interested. Thanks for listening.
We're also joined by Trudy.
Hi, I'm Trudy. My pronouns are they, them. I play Zora. Her pronouns are she, her. Looking forward to the finale.
And finally, we're joined by Velvet.
Dark greetings, morsels. I am Velvet Divine, Faye Fair, reprising my role as Maeve, the mother of monsters, who goes by she, her. Super stoked for the finale, hoping a certain someone doesn't kill me this time.
I ain't sorry.
Good, you shouldn't be.
When last we left off, our Sunbreaker friends were aboard the Jellyfish Junction, a powerful Centauran warship that was part of the Splinter Fleet that had broken off from the main Hygean fleet. The Hygean fleet had been summoned and bribed in a way, paid perhaps, by the Solar Free State to come and help put down the quote-unquote rebellion on Hablon, the habitat of the League of Orbital Nations, with the promise that they would be given territory on the habitat where they could live instead of eking out a rough existence across asteroids and stations in their section of the belt in the Hygean cluster. But not everyone in that fleet is willing to engage in this type of extremely bad behavior, and so thus we have the Splinter Fleet. Most recently, you were involved in a bit of a pickle, I would say, when Weapon Table, a super soldier clone of Whiskey Tango, who you had on your ship, disappeared from the ship aboard the Jellyfish Junction. This led to an investigation and took you out into the fleet and then back to the Jellyfish Junction. And you found that a Sun minister named Emerson K. Vaughn, who goes by MKV, had seized control of a Centauran cyborg's body and was using it to plant bombs throughout the Splinter Fleet. The bombs they were using were of the same construction and chemical composition as the ones that the Sunbreakers used on the Sun in a clear attempt to implicate you in the destruction of these fleets and turn everyone against you.
It's not just one pickle, it was a whole jar of pickles.
Perhaps even a barrel.
Ooh.
All right, so yeah, you had a big showdown with Emerson K. Vaughn. You were eventually able to defeat him, though Keva took some heavy damage from that. And Emran, your face visor ended up getting cracked, and you had to sacrifice your shield in order to defuse the bomb aboard Jellyfish Junction just in time. So before we get into checking in with your characters and seeing what's been going on since then, it's been a couple of days. During that time, the news of your deeds has spread throughout the Splinter Fleet and bolstered the support that you enjoyed before. And in fact, has spread beyond the Splinter Fleet into the main Hygean fleet itself. And the Splinter Fleet is growing. More and more ships are defecting from the main body as they learn more about what their job that they've been contracted for here actually involves. And they have been hearing about the agreements that you have been negotiating with the people of the Splinter Fleet. As we may recall, the broad strokes is that the Centaurans were hoping to have some underwater territory in sectors 2 and 7 on Hablon. There are inland salt seas, so they were hoping to have some territory there, and you all seemed like you were okay with that. The Andromedans didn't seem to want much beyond company and somewhere to stay where there were other sapient species to interact with. And they have a beef with the Sun anyway, seeing as the Sun had been using several of their number for a couple centuries as a power source. The Hedonarchy just wants to have a fight, and they have said that afterwards, if you get rich, they will definitely steal from you. But if you don't, whatever. So that's what's up with them. And you seem to have made friends with the members of the Hedonarchy there. The Shroud was another faction here. They have technology that they say will prevent the emergency from noticing Hablon or you, and we will see what goes on with that. They want to have a separate settlement on Hablon, and that is still under negotiation. You were hoping to set up some type of neutral territory where you could have a summit of leadership of different people so that people could stay in touch with each other and deliberate and so on. So let's see how things have been going for all of you since that fateful moment at the end of the last session when you defused the bomb and saved the fleet. There are a couple things that I have made notes of that I want to check in on specifically. Keva
Yes.
took a trauma.
Yes, and you and I talked a little bit about that, but for our listeners' benefit, we have not. In the Scum and Villainy Scum and Villainy system, when you fill your stress track, you have to take a trauma, and there are about 8 of them to describe a slight change in behavior: cold, haunted, obsessed, paranoid, reckless, soft, unstable, vicious. I would say Keva was already pretty soft, and those other ones are a little hard to talk about. I mean, some of them are a little bit really not fitting with Keva's character.
Mm-hmm.
You and I talked about how, in this case, we would say that Keva became obsessed, and that doesn't really change a lot of Keva's outward behavior or inward behavior, I guess. But basically, what that tracks up to is that Keva, if anyone has talked to Keva within the last couple days about what happened, Keva's basically just said, well, I mean, I'm not normally all for killing everyone unless, like, it's a surviving situation or, like, us versus them, or, I'm not really into death penalty sort of stuff or any of that. But I really, really think we need to kill that Emerson dude. And that's basically what it chalks up to, is that Keva is really gung-ho about the fact that Emerson KV bites the dust.
Understandable.
I mean, he murdered a whole lot of people and just left their corpses strewn about and was just not fun to fight with.
He was planning on killing a whole lot more people.
Yeah, so...
And pinning it on you.
Yeah, that's basically what it boils down to. Keva is A-okay with murdering one person right now. I don't know if it's murder, though.
Well,
but that's up for ethics debate.
That's a moral discussion that we can get into later if it comes up. Okay, so downtime. We can start with free play. We can, come in at any point that you want. I would say probably we can come in the next day or a couple of days after the end of that and see where each of our characters are. If you want to launch right into downtime, we can do that as well and use that to inform any free play that we want to do before we get into the actual mission here. So what are you feeling like? Do you want to do some free play first, or do you want to use downtime to schedule or to structure that, or what do you want to do?
I don't want to monopolize time, but I want to do one of my downtime action rolls now.
Okay.
But I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember which one it was. What do you roll for the craft? For crafting, it's just fortune, or
so. All right, we may as well just start with downtime, and anything that we want to do in between actions or around those actions, we'll get into.
Does anyone object? Does anyone else want to go first?
Nope, go for it.
No, go for it.
No trouble.
Okay.
All right, so craft. If you have a schematic, craft a device. Roll rig or hack. The result indicates the quality of the asset using the crew's quality as the base. Add +1 quality if you have a workshop on your ship or for each cred spent.
Okay, so I know that we have a workshop, right?
I think so. Let me double check. I always forget. The Express character sheet. Workshop. Yes, you have a workshop.
Okay. I guess this is a rig for what I'm thinking of making.
Is anybody helping you while you do this?
Does the Express count?
The Express does not count in this case because the Express doesn't actually have a way to help you build anything.
I mean, I know that Emran can help me make things, but I think Keva wants... Does Manjikai know how to make things?
Not really, but she's always willing to try.
What about one of the Centaurans?
Like, if you want to just talk to one of the Centaurans and see if they can help. I mean, there's probably, let's see, I've got some notes on each of them here.
Bet you Bitter Awakening is really good at making dresses.
Yes, Keva's making a dress.
Yeah, I don't think Bitter Awakening knows how to make anything other than a ruckus. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Dangerous Midnight is an engineer.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So since I have 0 dice in rig, getting the bonus die, is it 2 bonus die?
So for the workshop, you add +1 quality, and for having assistance, you get +1 die. So it would be 1 die that you're rolling for rig.
Okay.
And I think we talked about something ages back in the chat that we had. Let's see.
Extra special material.
Right. So yeah, you could use. Yeah, I think you have an extra bonus die for that. So that gives you 2 dice to roll. And of course, you can push yourself if you wish. Or I'm not sure what a devil's bargain would look like in this case.
What's the devil's bargain in this place? You make it, but
you permanently lose a single fingernail.
Yeah.
Okay, so
No.
do you want to push yourself then?
Yeah, I'm gonna push myself.
Okay, so that'll give you an extra die.
3 die. I should have. Oh, okay, 5.
Okay, so on a 5 with rig on craft, 4 to 5 is equal to your crew's tier, and you have a workshop, so that improves the quality by 1. So that is a tier 2 object that you have crafted. I think while you're there working on it, Dangerous Midnight is mostly hanging out, but like Z will occasionally fetch you something or use their fine manipulators, which have more dexterity than your meaty human fingers to help get into a smaller area.
And they start using a bellows or something.
Z's just having a good time hanging out with you, doing something that doesn't have the fate of the universe on it.
Yeah.
So I think Dangerous Midnight is quite enjoying this process. Like, yeah, it's nice to just like every once in a while get back to my roots,
Yes, making things is very, very relaxing. Unfortunately, I don't have access to making the sort of things that I learned my trade for.
Yeah, well, sometimes you got to get through the rough times to get back home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't tell anyone, but I do have some cheese aging on the ship. But that's a secret. Don't tell anyone. That's celebration cheese.
My lips are sealed, as you humans say. Dangerous Midnight, one of their little manipulators, does like a zip motion across their very wide mouth.
Do Z smile, like twinkle and gleam like Sidons?
I think because he looks like basically a really chill anglerfish, it's probably the lamp thing glows a little bit and does a wink that way.
Ooh, cool.
Ding. So you successfully crafted the object that we discussed.
Yes. And then Keva, because it's in the canon that Keva is really good at wrapping presents, wraps up a present in very, very sparkly paper.
Nice. Do you want to save that part for later? Or?
Yeah. I don't want to monopolize time here.
Okay. So Keva is off crafting something with Dangerous Midnight. Where do we find anyone else who'd like to talk about your downtime actions or how your characters are responding to or recovering from the event?
We have 2 downtown.
Yes, 2 downtown actions.
two downtime actions.
Well, all right then.
Do we so the only way to reduce stress is by indulging your vice, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we all know what Zora's vice is. So Zora's just going to pray and meditate and hopefully bring her stress down, because she was not doing so well with her stress last session.
Now that brings up an interesting point. Is Zora actually praying again?
She is.
Is she praying to anyone in particular?
Just praying in general. She hasn't quite yet figured everything out. She's kind of in this very stuck place where she's not really sure how to proceed forward, but she finds comfort in doing the things that are ritual to her, because everything is so different for her now than it was, a year ago, a few months ago?
Mm-hmm.
So the ritual is keeping her more sane than than anything else.
Right. Okay. Well, let's roll to indulge your vice.
Okay.
If you go onto your character sheet, you can see it on there.
Yeah. It was not super effective.
Mm-hmm. Was anyone with you while you were doing this?
I mean, I don't think so. Would anyone have wanted to join Zora? I'm assuming not.
I think Mandukai is the person who is currently most interested in Zora's spiritual well-being.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Zora would have accepted an invitation from Mandukai to pray together.
She wouldn't have objected, no.
Okay. In that case, you can roll an additional die.
Okay.
Slash R1d6, and we'll take the better of those two. Okay. It's still the two.
We're having a hard time. We're on the struggle bus.
We're on the struggle bus. Yeah, so I guess while you are praying, it's still like the ritual is comforting, but there's still that feeling of uncertainty, right?
Yeah. And then I had one other question for my other action. I see that I have a sprayed underneath my arm.
Yeah.
Is there any way that I can clear that up?
Yes, that's the recover downtime action.
Wow. Use recover to recover. Can I go ahead and use recover?
Yeah, if you want to do your second action, you can go for it.
Awesome.
So when you do recover, it automatically clears level 1 harm, so you don't even have to roll anything for that.
Okay. Well, that's good because I'm not sure what to press on the sheet.
And just delete. You can just
delete it. Got it.
Yeah.
Right. And those are Zora's actions.
Okay. As a reminder, you can spend cred to purchase additional downtime actions during downtime. So I think you all have a couple of cred each. So if you want to, when we come back around, you can do additional actions.
I may do that.
Okay. How about Maeve or Emran?
Real quick, I would also like to remove my sprayed condition.
Okay. Everybody's having a party in the med bay.
The med bay party.
Woo!
Med bay party.
And Mike, if you don't mind, I think I'm just going to go ahead and use my second one to try and clear some stress.
No problem.
So what's Maeve doing to clear her stress here?
I assume since these interns are water folk, they would have, I guess kind of big water tanks just to chill in, almost like sensory deprivation tanks.
Definitely.
I'll try one of those.
Okay.
And just vibe.
And do you think this is like a full immersion one, or is this like Luke in the back of the tank, or are you floating atop of it like the Dead Sea?
No, yeah, it's full like in the back of the tank.
Okay. Maeve is floating in the ocean water. And I think what's unique about this water is that it is water originally from the Andromedan homeworld that they have brought with them across the stars, that they keep as a sort of almost a sacred thing for them. And they offer you its use.
So if you were going to say like what water on Earth this is most like, is it that different, or
it would be a little bit different, but it's still water. Basically, it's still salt water. So it's
okay.
Yeah,
all the salt water, and I'm still the saltiest thing in this tank.
It's more of a spiritual component to it than any physical chemical difference.
Oh, I was just wondering, like, does it have more salt or less salt? Is it more like Pacific water than Atlantic water, which there's probably no difference besides temperature.
Yeah. I mean, it's not Dead Sea water. I can say that much. You can submerge in it.
Okay. Oh, man, that would be so hard.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, yeah, indulge your vice. Oh, is anyone with you while you're doing this? I guess not. You did 5 there. Good. This is a very relaxing experience.
Noise. Yeah, I would say I'm envisioning this almost like Maris's sensory deprivation tank from Frasier. Like it's entirely opaque. Like I'm in my egg. Don't talk to me.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think while you are doing this, you can hear through your powers the murmuring voices of the ship and the smaller ships connected to it, because they're all like networked. You can't really understand what they're saying, but you can. It's a comforting murmur, like there's a stability there. And I think, Maeve, at the edge of your awareness, as you are listening to this comforting murmuring in your sensory deprivation tank, you feel a familiar spot of light, almost something that feels like it's approaching on the very edge of your awareness. Emran.
Yes, hello.
Hey, what are you doing during your downtime here? How are you recovering from what's happened?
I think Emran was present for the party in the med bay.
Sure. So you can clear that off, or sprayed as well. What else is Emran up to?
Emran's going to just train to decompress.
Okay. All right. So you're going to indulge your vice. Good. Is anyone coming with you to train?
Hey, Zora, you want to hang out?
Yeah, let's hang.
Or no, wait, this is much better. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was over eager. I think that Keva should come.
Okay. So I imagine that randomly at this point, I'm trying to think of what Keva is doing here. I have to say, just to get a little ahead of this, that Keva was also in the mid-bay party because she's going to have to heal a little.
Sure.
So chronologically, we'll say that Keva healed before this, but I'll just say that that's my other, because that's
You
not
can just do that. It's fine.
Yeah, because I don't have to roll. That's a level 1 sprained ankle as well. So basically, Keva was at the med bay getting it checked out and is like, oh yeah, it's all better. And then she kind of like ran into you and was like, hey, yeah, so I was, I need to grab something for you. And we should really talk about something you told me to think about later when the bomb was exploding. Yeah, that was hold on a second. And Keva, like, I'm like, wait, can she run? Keva like walks quickly back to go like grab something, and it's a shiny thing, and she's like, where do you want to like talk? Somewhere private, probably.
Probably the Express.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. And then she like starts that fast walking again, which is weird because like Keva's really short, but somehow she's like really quick when she's doing this. And like keeps on like looking back at Emran, like kind of like really quick.
And Emran's just staring straight ahead over Keva's shoulders.
Sorry, is Emran wearing anything over his face or his eyes or anything going on like that right now? Because the visors, or are you fixing the visor? We'll get to that later. Don't worry about it. Never mind.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Yeah, Emran's not wearing anything on his head right now, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about how awkward Keva is right now. So Keva gets back to the ship and it's like, okay, so okay. So before I talk about emotions, which is really hard because emotions are hard, I wanted to give you this because and then Keva stops and she's like, I don't know how like to talk about this because I've never really had to talk about this out loud. And then she just kind of like shoves this present into your hands. And then she's like, and I kind of wasn't thinking when I wrapped it, just so you know, the paper is really sparkly. And unless you want to see and use your sword to look at it, it's fine. You don't have to.
It's definitely bright, but that's all I know.
Okay. So, I don't know. Part of me is like, what do you think? And then I'm like, this isn't a real thing. Mike doesn't know what the heck is wrapped.
Emran, in one fluid motion, tears the wrapping off without ripping it so he can save it.
Whoa.
Part of me wants to be like, can you guess what it is?
I know Kung Fu. Can I guess what it is?
One guess, and then I'll tell you.
I think Emran like turns off his vision for a second. All right, Emran tears off the wrapping paper, folds it away. Keva's holding the thing, and Emran's just like,
yeah,
it's probably sunglasses.
No.
Is it my very own poncho?
No. Oh, I'll just. She like puts it in your hands, and it's big, and it's kind of flat, and it's metal, and it's made of SGM, and it doesn't have.
Emran immediately starts crying.
It doesn't have a fox face on it. Yeah. So I talked to the Express, and the Express said that if I gave it a different panel of something that I got from the Centaurans, I could have one of its SGM panels. So then I don't know how to make SGM like Hector did, but I was able to cut, it's kind of a rough shield shape there. You can't see it, but I painted a little.
This is very nice.
Okay. Keva just sort of stops, filling the air.
Can I give you a hug?
Of course, she says, and then she hugs Emran, which is a little awkward though because she is like really short.
It's very cute. I
Yeah.
don't care what anyone says.
So, I mean, Keva just sort of stands there for a second. It's like, oh gosh, this is hard to formulate what happens. I'm gaping like a fish here, like, nah. So I heard. I mean, I heard what you said. It takes me more time to process what people say.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just sort of looking down, and she's like, I love you too, but not like as friends or like siblings or people that lived in the same quad and grew each other. I'd like romantically.
Yeah, romantically.
Yeah, but like this is kind of embarrassing because I felt that way for a while, but I didn't want to say anything because I was afraid that it would kind of ruin things. Like if you didn't feel the same way, or like with Maeve and Dag and everyone, like I didn't want to ruin everything.
Nothing's ruined by this. This is good.
And Keva just sort of starts smiling, like really silly, like really like,
yeah.
And she just sort of like puts her hands out to like hold Emran's hands, and it's like, you're really handsome and tall and nice.
Oh,
I love this.
And you're really strong and smart and pretty.
I guess I just got afraid too because of, like, I'm just not as great as other people.
That's not true.
I mean, like, I'm not the Spider Queen or the High Priestess of Velico or a really cool rebel person with floral wand power things. Or
All right, first of all, you are a really cool rebel person.
Okay.
And you may not be a potentially immortal Spider Queen or the priestess of a computer god, but you're Keva Jarma, the cheesemaker, and that's who I love.
And Keva's blushing at that point. Oh gosh, they are so awkward. It's so cute.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Emma don't do so much emotional thinking very often.
So anyway, Keva just sort of like, I guess like she starts doing the Entrapta thing, which is using her hair to like get taller and then like puts her head
cute.
on Emran's shoulder and just kind of
love that.
Yeah, it's just sort of like, we should probably talk about this more, like the future, because I know that like it's kind of complicated because we're like trying to fight a war and beat up a bunch of really bad guys and hopefully kill Emerson KV and a couple other Sun people and stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely going to happen. Don't worry.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I know, you know that I want a family someday. I
remember.
I need.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was because I didn't want to lose any of you.
I think that child or no, we're always going to have each other in our lives, but I don't think it's bad if the way that we're in each other's lives changes. And I know that change is scary and hard to adjust to.
Yeah.
But I am welcome to something that's not this, whatever form it takes. Okay. Not what we're going through right now.
Well, we are agreed that Jolly is like our goat child now.
I think that I am perfectly happy with Jolly being a surrogate child until such a time as peace comes.
That sounds like a good idea. And then Keva kisses him on the cheek.
Emran giggles.
And we can leave the scene at that, I think, because, yeah, for now. Oh,
and
no!
We lost Craig.
We lost...
Craig lasted just long enough for the
Just long
emotional
enough.
tenor.
Thank you, Craig.
Craig couldn't handle
Thank
it.
you, Craig.
Oh my
He
god.
pulled through, though. He made it to the
Craig,
end.
Totally
Craig's
embarrassed.
drowning in a
Craig.
nosebleed anime style. Yeah, that's what happened. We scandalized him.
I hope that wasn't uncomfortable for anyone.
That was great. Y'all are too cute.
No, it's cute.
It's really
Oh, you
sweet.
overloaded Craig with ooh.
Let's see if I can get him back.
Too much ooh in the
Yeah.
chat.
I'm like, part of this is so much just
All right,
me, and then part of it is just Keva just being like gaping.
Ah.
Ah!
Well, that was the cutest ever.
No.
All right. I'm going to see if Craig will come back.
Craig.
Yeah.
It's okay, Craig. The emotions are over for now.
Yeah. So
Pokes him out of the Craig cave.
Can I talk about the shield for a second? It's supposed to be kind of
Yes.
shaped like the Hylian shield. That same shape. But instead of the Triforce in the middle, it's got the broken sun.
Nice.
I love that. Huge fan.
And the broken sun is sitting on top of some curled goat horns on either side, like a spiral. Like
That's super freaking cool.
So, are there any other downtime actions anyone would like to do? Go ahead. Oh, yes. You have
I
to
need
still roll your...
I have to exercise.
You actually roll that. Yeah, so you're with Keva there, who's assisting you with your indulging your vice, so you can add a bonus die. Oh, y'all are wilding out here. That's not...
How dare you misinterpret what Matt is saying? I'm gonna take my bonus die for romantic love.
just talking about feelings.
It's emotional support.
Feelings is exercise too, Matt.
Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, let's be honest. There was also hugs.
I got 3.
All right, so you have cleared 3 stress there. So with that said, and looking at the amount of stress everyone still has, would
Yeah.
anyone like to spend
I
some
would
cred?
like to spend a cred.
Yeah.
Yes. Keva's gonna spend a cred
Em-
to relieve her stress, and it's gonna be like a bunch of face masks.
There you go. Perfect.
Zora, you said you wanted to...
Yeah. We're gonna try and release some stress too.
Okay. Yeah, give it a roll.
Oh gosh, I pray it's better than last time.
Hey,
Oh, thank God.
that's a lot better. You got a 5 there. Okay.
I should do this as well.
Perfect. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So what's Emran doing the second time that Emran indulges his vice?
Emran is now. This isn't a long-term project to fix the mask. It's more just like
Tinkering?
fixing the mask. Like this isn't a permanent fix, but Emran is just trying to flex his own SGM manipulating powers by trying to weave the mask back together. I'm not trying to double dip actions. I'm just saying that's what he's doing.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, the mask it's not really a mechanical thing anyway. It's a flavor thing.
Right.
Do you like smush the
So
two
I'll do
broken
that.
pieces together and go, now kiss?
That's exactly what Emran does. Emran turns them both into anatomically correct human Barbies, and then they kiss.
Puts the two halves together. Do you see 2 faces or a vase?
It's actually 2 bears high-fiving.
Ooh.
3 is the number of the day.
3 is the number of the day. All right, so clear 3 stress and spend a cred. Anyone else have cred that they are spending?
Yeah, I'm gonna spend that cred to buy like 5 face masks, like a bunch of bunch of
Mace
clay.
Flask. Yes, of course.
Yeah, face masks. One is actually Dead Sea.
Mace Fask.
Yeah,
Are you indulging your vice here?
yeah, and we're just calling it Keva pampering herself.
Well, I hope you roll the number of the day. Otherwise, you're going to overindulge.
Yeah, I know. So no bonus. Oh wait, no. Should I take a bonus die?
No.
No. Okay. Aha! I got a 2.
Very good.
You got the number of the day.
Yeah, if you
You
add
said
them
the
together.
secret word.
Whenever we say the secret word, we scream real loud.
Now, is there anything else that anyone wants to do before we move on to the next thing?
Can you remind me how much I have left on my clock to talk to the jellyfish?
Yeah, let me hop over to the clocks page.
No. Sorry. I have no problem with you talking to the jellyfish. I just have a problem with the clock page.
It's a lot of clocks on it.
Too many
It's
clocks.
a bad page. It's a bad page.
Yeah.
I'm glad most of these don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
We got them all, Matt.
Yeah, so you had 3 out of 4. You got them all. You got 3 out of 4 on that one.
I'd like to top off that clock if I may,
Okay.
or attempt to do so.
Certainly.
Do I just roll my attune or?
Oh, well, tell me how you're working on it. It's probably a tune, I assume, but
Yeah, I think I'm just going to take advantage of, the Centurion homeworld waters while I'm vibing in the tank.
okay. So let's work on your long-term project. Do a fortune roll using your attune.
Do I roll fortune or attune, or does it not matter?
It doesn't matter.
Risky standard, where I thrive.
4. Okay, so that fills the clock. So while you're vibing in the ocean water, the Andromedan ocean water, you are able to resolve those mutterings into speech that you understand. So you have been able to make contact with the jellyfish junction and actually understand what it is saying. And it's just about what you would expect. It's just talking to the other ships in the formation, and it is routing commands from one place to another, checking on things. It's constantly talking, and it's constantly talking to itself and the other ships and to the people controlling the ship. It's just like a constant, ongoing, many-fronted conversation. And you understand the language it's using, so you could use that language if you wished.
I'm raising my hand. Can I drop some random fish trivia
Sure.
that has to do with jellyfish?
Okay.
So a lot of people object to the fact that jellyfish are called jellyfish because they aren't fish.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that we don't have a clear defined term of what actually a fish is, but going by like what an arachnid is. Oh, it's an insect with 8 legs. But there is no clearly defined term exactly like taxonomically or, like by what constitutes a fish. Therefore, you can refer to a jellyfish as a fish or a starfish as a fish.
Well, the jellyfish junction is specifically a giant space nautilus.
I know, but it has
that's
jellyfish in the name.
No, that's good information to know. I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, I learned that
Definitely.
from the fish book I read.
I'm glad I know that.
Mhm.
Are any of the ships like a spooky squid-shaped ship?
There are no squid ships here. The ships here are all they would all be various types of shellfish. So it's primarily nautiloid style. Some maybe more like a prawn or a shrimp type thing.
Are any of them those shrimp that punch?
Probably some of the fighters are like that.
Mantis shrimp?
Yeah, the mantis shrimp.
They're probably like mantis shrimp style fighter ships or something on one of these carriers.
My problem with mantis shrimp is that they can see like something like 16 additional colors that we can't see, and I'm super jealous.
That's how the mantis shrimp do.
I want to see the jellyfish colors.
Are
I
any of them
want to see them.
like a Corsair type thing? Something I could load my swarm onto.
Yeah, I mean there are definitely ships that you could ask to use. 100%.
Well, yeah, butterflies can see one additional color. That's
Butterfly.
still angry. I'm still extremely envious of that.
I think I'll try to directly ask the jellyfish junction for one of those fighter ships. I might bypass the middleman and ask the big boss.
I think the jellyfish junction, hearing your opening communications, it turns some of its attention towards you, and it's kind of like talking to Hub. Like when Hub is doing a million other things, but there's still some part of Hub has their full attention on you. It's like that, except you can still hear all the other things that the jellyfish junction is doing while it's speaking to you. Jellyfish junction's pronouns are it and its, and it turns its attention to you, and it's it's an alien attention, but it's something that you are used to now. Like you're immersed in this environment, and you can feel it examining you and saying, "Ah, yes, you are one of the heroes." It comes a little bit closer in your mental awareness and says, "Of course, we can arrange for transportation. Whatever you need, we will attempt to provide."
Am I able to give it the coordinates directly to where a hub would be, or is that something I have to go through the navigators for?
You can do that. The old spaceport, as far as we know, is still held by the Sun's forces.
Oh, okay.
Getting into the hub is you can do it, but there'd be a fight.
I want Keva and Maeve to arrange a play date between these two spaceships.
Yeah, they're happy to look at how they might do that, how they might be able to maybe infiltrate in there. So yeah, Jellyfish Junction will start working on that.
Tubular.
Anything else that anyone wants to do? Okay.
Part of me is like, oh, that's more of a long-term goal, and I don't want to spend another cred.
So that awareness that you felt, sort of that ping of light in your in your power awareness, Maeve, it has been drawing closer and closer during this time. And by the time you are getting out of the sensory tank and everyone has had the med bay party, actually, I want to zoom in on the med bay party for just a second because weapon table is there.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I was thinking about that.
WT.
I would love to know how things go when weapon table comes to, because weapon table was, as when last we saw, he had passed out, and after just firing the assault rifles and eventually just still firing even when there were no bullets, he just kind of passed out and is now in the med bay while you all are having your med bay party. And I think shortly after you've all gotten your treatment, weapon table wakes up, and the Andromedan nurse floats over, and the Centauran nurse is also there, and they're checking on his vitals and making sure that he's alive. And he's just staring up at the ceiling, but he turns his head to see the group of you, and he looks stricken, devastated.
Is this before or after the love confession scene?
That's up to you.
Mike?
What?
I said, do you want this to be before or after the love confession scene?
Yeah, I think this is after.
Okay.
In which case, Emran is wearing Keva's poncho like a crop top.
And Keva is wearing one very, very large on her orange hoodie, correct? It's like...
Yep.
Yeah. And Keva has like a tub of like facial clay. And she's like, so I have a lot of this left over. Do you want me to exfoliate your skin? I don't know how well it will work, but
are you talking to weapon table?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The weapon table.
His stricken expression switches briefly to one of confusion. He's like, what?
Like, I don't know. Do you have combination skin or like dry skin? I have a couple other choices.
I shot you.
I'm okay.
Yeah, we're all okay.
She pats his head and says, sometimes people make mistakes, and sometimes it's not their fault. For a while, Zora was hunting us down, and she's our friend now.
Zora looks really embarrassed.
It's okay, Zora, she says.
Thank you. But it's true. We do make mistakes.
And I'm pretty sure that you were being mind controlled.
I was, but I still did it. I tried not to, but I couldn't. It's just, he reaches up to, you can see there's like a shunt in the base of his skull where, something could plug in there, and he touches it and says, anytime one of them is near me, they can just take me over anytime they want.
Well, I mean, we could try to fix that.
I don't know. I don't want to hurt anyone again.
Keva nods.
He scooches into a seated position and arranges his medical robe around him. He's hugging his knees to his chest and just puts his head on his knees. He's very flexible. He's a super soldier.
Mm-hmm.
And is looking towards the group of you and saying, I think Whiskey Tango is dead.
How do you know that?
When he was alive, it was like he was streaming himself to us, like a live connection, and I can't hear it anymore. It's either that or Emerson did something to me.
Did he say anything before?
I don't know. It happened while I was out. I woke up to silence for the first time.
Does that mean the surface liberation won?
Maybe. I can't say I don't. I never had a direct line to their computers or systems or anything. It was just the voice, the whispers directing us, and that's gone. And I had my new self to fall back on, thanks to you, but I don't know what my brothers will be like. I'm worried.
Oh gosh, I'm just getting another weird flashback to some media.
The nurses are bustling around and they're saying, you need to rest, you need to rest. If there's nothing anyone wants to say in addition to that, then we can keep moving to our next scene.
I'm just trying to figure out what Kevin would say. Like, well, I don't mind if we run into more of them trying to help them.
Yeah.
And if you want to go somewhere where they can't reach you, maybe the Centaurans could help?
I don't know what I want, but if you can find a way to help them, I guess I do want that.
Then you got him.
You're right, Emran. We deserve the chance to be ourselves.
You do.
He nods. Thank you. There's an alert on your communicators.
Cool.
These tabs that you got.
We have our own now?
Yeah, of course. The heroes.
Kevus has a goat sticker on it.
Love it.
I don't know from where, but we got it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can print a sticker on this hyper advanced spaceship from a starfaring race. They probably have a printer somewhere.
They don't have adhesives. No glue.
Now we know. You just had to attach it with a barnacle.
Like a pop
There
socket?
It's a living sticker, actually.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Oh no, you can make glue out of fish scales.
You can.
Oh my goodness.
So the alert on your tablet lets you know that there has been a new ship that has docked with the Jellyfish Junction, and your presence is requested in the hangar bay.
All right, let's go.
Maeve, what do you think? Do you think orange looks good on me? Kiva says, gesturing at the gigantic hoodie.
I think you work it really well.
It's really almost like a dress.
It's a hoodie dress.
New fashion.
Yeah. Emran, I think the poncho looks really good on you, too.
Well, I think the hoodie looks good on you.
Kevin giggles.
And we cut to the hangar bay. As we recall, a large open space where many ships are sitting. You can see the ones you've seen there before. The Express is there, and what's the other one that we've seen that's there? I can't remember.
Elon, no.
No, Eli.
Eli.
Not Elon.
Not
Eli
Elon.
Vox.
Sorry.
Yeah, what is Vox ship
My
name?
boy.
It had a cool name. The Impertinent Warpath.
Yes.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Cat break.
Hey, Cat.
Cano.
It's like a jailbreak, except cats.
The Impertinent Warpath has landed there as well. It's still there, along with the other ships from the other representatives. And there is a new ship that is just touching down. And if the Express is like a big metal chicken, this one is like if a big metal chicken were the size of an emu. It's
Damn.
Oh my goodness.
many, many times larger than the Express, but it is the same basic design.
Is that the Express's older sibling?
Well, the ship comes in and it's like chicken leg things adjust its engines and it sets down. And after a moment, there's the hiss of hydraulics and the ramp at the back of it opens up. And from it, a variety of people begin to emerge. Did you have something there?
Oh, I just started like motioning like the way I imagined it opening. For some reason, I was imagining it opening like the DeLorean door. Like,
Space DeLorean.
yeah.
So you recognize some of these figures who are coming off of the ship. At the front of them, you see Esme.
Oh no!
It's on! Instantly.
What?
As Esme arrives, and she is at the front of this group. She's got her usual, hip-cocked, sassy stance as she stands at the top of the ramp, looking down at the group of you gathering, as well as the various other representatives. She raises an eyebrow as she looks over and takes in your current wardrobe. And
Emran nods very slowly.
a variety of expressions come over her face in rapid succession. And she ends in a smirk and says, "Well, it's about time," before striding confidently down the ramp.
What?
Yeah, she strides confidently down the ramp. She reaches up and slaps Emran on the bicep, which is, where she can reach up to, and looks over at Keva and Maeve and just nods and says, "It's been a while.
Yeah.
Figured you could probably use some backup. Also,
Yes.
we found this big spaceship.
I want to talk to it.
It's very big.
It's a big ship. You have no idea. It seems even bigger inside, but anyway."
Kevin says, "What's the name of the ship?"
Says this is called the Intercontinental.
Yes.
I love that so
Very
much.
good. Very
Oh,
good.
yeah.
And the ship makes a noise as as it finishes settling down, because of course Esme got off before the ship was really fully landed, and just as as it lands. And behind, the rest of the people start coming off the ship, and you see a person dressed up in the robes of the Church of Gov, and they're a very official looking person. They're carrying a clipboard already, in addition to a big satchel. It's not that one.
Oh.
No, Den needs her where she is.
Oh, okay.
This is a different person. This is a man in the robes of the Church of Gov. He
They
looks
have the
like
patch thing.
you would recognize him as like a high ranking. What's the term?
No, I meant identification patch.
Yeah.
That's a he, him.
Yeah, you would recognize him as a high ranking notary.
Oh, wait a second. Does that mean that Keva and Emran like their pins and they switched them?
Yes.
That's
jackets.
what you do with your pins.
Yeah, we'll just say that they did.
So he comes down next, and next to him is a familiar figure again of Karis Johnson, whose voice whispers storms. And
Karis!
They are making their way down the ramp. They are using a cane as well. They are still recovering from the serious injuries they took during the Battle of the Oasis.
That was very bad.
Yeah, they were in terrible shape, but they're doing okay now.
What I was going to say was one of my other favorites, Splinter's Son OTP half.
As they are making their way down the ramp with their cane, it's just a plain wooden, like looks like it's a bamboo maybe cane. And as they are making their way down the ramp, you hear a gasp from behind you, and Mandukai just charges past you, grabbing Karis like she's already up the ramp, grabbing them and lifting them up, spinning them around, laughing and babbling, hugging them and touching their face gently. And Karis is touching her face as well, and she puts them down, and they smile and are leaning on each other, each one of them with their cane on opposite sides as they come down the ramp.
Oh my gosh. I just had like this extremely strong, like in my gut, like feeling of where I'm like, CD's not here. CD's not here. CD's not here. CD's not here. And I'm like, but CD would say at this point, if CD were here, and perhaps CD would say after hearing about these events later that like, oh, so I guess there's more than one popular couple on the ship now.
Wow. No one is more popular than the protagonist couple.
Those are facts right there.
Yeah, so as they get to the bottom of the ramp, Karis makes their way over to the group of you, and they say, it's good to see you. I am mostly recovered from my injuries, but there has been a group of us sent up here to assist you in negotiations and with the battle should it come to that. Their voice is different from how you may remember it because they've undergone a series of procedures to operate on their throat and chest, which were badly damaged, which is why they're also short of breath most of the time now, but they are recovering.
Oh, they got the grievous treatment?
Hopefully not that bad.
Not so much grievous.
Yeah, not like that.
Yeah. I was thinking more like coronavirus. Jeez.
Oh no.
Not that either. Just, damage to the tissues from the Fusro Da they were doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, as an aside, I know that a lot of us who had coronavirus did have some scarring on our lungs. I don't know about me.
Well, I'm hoping not.
Yeah, I hope not.
Me as well.
Wait, you had it?
No, I'm saying that was a difficult triple negative. I'm saying
Oh.
I also hope that you do not have scarring on your lungs.
Oh, okay. I probably had it when I was younger, when I had pneumonia, but...
Right, the scarring.
Yeah.
So Karis is, you see there are a couple of tears in their stoic eyes, and of course Mandukai is just, her face is a mess. She's sobbing with relief and joy at seeing Karis. Yeah, so they wander off together, and clearly you'll talk with them later if you need to.
Yeah.
The next figure to come down, none of you would recognize her, but as I recall, she was face cast as Sandra Oh. So she's got kind of frizzy hair. I'm going to say it's pulled back into a bit of a ponytail there. She's wearing a white outfit. It's like almost like if you cross, no, it's not even that. You know Rufus Shinra?
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like that. It's
Nice.
Like a suit, but the jacket is really long.
Ooh.
And it's all white. Everything's white.
So bleeding style, yeah.
Yeah.
I could pull a picture of him up in my Ultimania right this second.
So she looks super fashionable, super cool. And the strange thing is that she is walking down the ramp, and her eyes are like completely black.
Oh?
And beyond being completely black, it's like they are leaking smoke from her eyes at all times.
Damn.
It's not like leaking like a cigarette and making clouds above her. It's just as if there is a constant aura of smoke coming from her completely pitch black eyes. And she comes down to the group of you once Karis and Mandukai have moved on, and she reaches out for a moment, and there's a familiar presence as she says, memory remembers you.
What?
Do you remember memory?
Oh.
What? Memory?
I am specifically the memory of Sector 5, though we are all connected now.
So you're not the memory that we met before?
I am that too. With the wave reconnected, it allowed us to reestablish our network.
Are you like, Keva like looks at them closely like, is that like a robot body or like...
This is the body of one who came to me seeking justice. Instead, she found a new purpose.
Is she okay with that?
She blinks and her eyes are human. And she says, oh, sorry. I'm Fei Hung Lee.
Hi.
We haven't met, but I know you.
Hello.
Hi.
The callbacks.
Yeah,
This was your character, Trudy.
Yeah, I remember.
Memory has her now.
Ba-dumt.
are you like okay with having that inside?
I don't know. Trudy, what do you think? Is Fei Hung Lee okay with this situation, or is she just dealing with it?
Well, I think she'd be okay with it.
There you go. She says, it's interesting. I'm learning a lot.
I mean, we got someone with a piece of Velico in them, so...
Hey, Velico. He says, look, I'm not going to lie. This isn't really my scene, so I'm just going to let Memory handle this stuff, and I'll take back over when we get back to the habitat. And she blinks again, and the eyes are back to the smoky black.
She's back to being Rufus Shurna, whose picture I finally pulled up.
The outfit remains the same.
God, that was so long ago. I was like, wait, didn't I have a character with that PB?
You sure did.
I'm like, I was like, no, I'm misremembering.
I thought it was probably one of those characters, but I didn't know which.
Hi, Sokka. Can I help you?
Doggo.
Just going to lurk outside growling at me?
Yes?
He knows that there's also a cat on this other screen, looking outside the window, broodingly. Oh.
So Memory says, we bring the information and knowledge of our shared network, stretching back hundreds of years to assist in the negotiations.
Yeah, I was always really confused about what the heck you are.
We are a repository of memory.
From people who died?
Some from people who died, others from other sources. We're a backup.
Like, Hub's backup?
Not quite. We are part of the wave, and the wave is part of everything, in the habitat at least. There is a network that stretches throughout the structure of the habitat, of fungus, and it connects everything and everyone, allowing perfect communication across space. It had been blocked by the sun's aggressions and has since been restored.
Whoa.
So can you, like, hear things out here, or just on the station? Like,
Only when I am within the network. For now I am cut off and have only what I carry with me.
Keva just sort of nods and is just still really confused.
You needn't concern yourselves over much. I am here to help.
Good enough for me.
She nods and goes off to join the members who are milling around. And the next thing that comes down the ramp is a giant-ass spider.
Oh my goodness.
This is so weird.
It's the Ebon Dowager. She comes down. She's looking regal and deadly, as she always does, this giant black spider. She has on her head a crown that she is wearing. It's a crown made of chitin. It looks like it might be made from parts of other bugs that she or her vassals have cobbled together into this crown, and she makes her way down to the base of the ramp, towering over everyone here. She's a giant-ass spider, as we recall. Her eyes turn to look at Maeve.
I don't know if this is going to be like there can only be one or something, but I kind of was hoping maybe Jeremy would be here too. Keva says.
She turns her eyes to you for a moment, and you can feel her attention on you, but can't really make anything of it before her attention drifts back to Maeve. And Maeve, you can hear her speak in your mind. No one else can hear it, just Maeve. And she says, "You awakened me, Queen of the Hive.
I like your crown."
This is the presence that you felt at the edge of your awareness while you were in the tank." She says, "Before you connected with my mind, I was a powerful creature, but a creature all the same. Now I think as you do." And she lowers herself a bit to bring her face closer to yours. And she says, "I accept no master, but I acknowledge your power. In this place, you are the better wielder of the swarm."
I respect that, and I'm thankful to have you to watch over them. I was getting worried about how things were going in my absence.
"Things proceed well." And she nods her head to you. It's not quite a bow, but it's an acknowledgement of respect, almost as if between rulers. And in that moment, Maeve, you feel a connection form to the Hive because they are here in the belly of this ship.
What's that chittering?
Your army has returned.
I want to do another one of those Kerrigan-style pulses, see if I can connect the swarm to the jellyfish junction, or at least just make them aware of each other.
Let's do an attune roll.
We all explode.
You gotta say.
Oh no!
Yeah, I think you are able to form this bridge. You are able to act as this bridge between the swarm and the Ebon Dowager and the jellyfish junction itself. And there's like a handshake protocol that goes through, and the networks begin to integrate. So the jellyfish junction can now effectively coordinate through you with the swarm of giant insects that have come out into space here. And interestingly enough, you actually feel some of them are in space outside of the jellyfish junction. Part of your swarm is out there.
They don't need
These
to breathe.
massive, like their chitin is so dense and powerful that they are able to survive in the vacuum of space. So they crawl around on the outside of the jellyfish junction.
I just see like I just imagine like by one of the portals.
I'm sure Jeremy's in there somewhere.
Jeremy the party ant is now 30 stories high.
Jeremy would go on the Sprace crew.
Wearing their wig, their clown wig.
What you're describing, Matt, is like a cosmic horror. It's a giant nautiloid ship covered in bugs that are massive as well.
Yeah,
that's bad.
Yeah,
they are our friends. They are friends. This is where we are.
And the final person to emerge from the ship, we're going to be done with this in just a moment. The last person to emerge from the ship is just a robot body.
Yep.
It looks like a very basic robot body, and like iRobot style. And they come down, and as they come down, a hologram shimmers into place around them, making the familiar many rainbow threaded visage of Hub.
Hey.
Oh my gosh, I can hug you! Keva says and hugs the robot body.
Hub hugs you back.
Oh my gosh, this is one of the things I wanted really badly.
Well, I am happy to help. Somebody had to fly this ship.
Yeah. Is this all of you, or just a part of you, or?
This is one small part of me. The majority of me remains on the habitat. There's so much work to be done there.
I imagine so, and yeah, we found out that parts of you guys can be broken up and separated, and I met a bunch of your siblings.
My colleagues.
Yeah.
They smile and they rest a hand on your shoulder for a moment, and then they look up to Mandukai, who looks over, and you see Mandukai's new eye glints, and Hub's eyes go through a variety of colors, and they nod at each other. And Hub says, "I see. You've been very busy out here. I've missed you."
It's been a roller coaster.
They take in your various appearances, and they reach out to rest a hand on your... What's your mask looking like? Your visor looking like, Emran?
I think before it was just like a straight visor, and now, however uncomfortable this might make other people, this is like the top half of a wolf's face, with just like like an animal mask.
No, that's bitchin'. That's awesome.
Oh yeah,
that's very cool.
Metal.
They rest their hand on your visor, and they have a sort of sad smile on their multicolored face, and they say, "I had hoped that..." No. They nod. "We become what we must, right?"
Yep.
And they nod, and they, touch the shoulders of those who like to be touched, and make their way off the ship. And the swarm is hanging around in the ship as well. So all these people came on a ride up here, and it's just these people, and the rest of the ship is just packed with giant bugs.
It'd be like that.
This is the arrival that you were called for, and your backup has arrived.
As you say that, a giant bee flies out of the hold.
Hey.
Buzz, buzz.
Gotta supply their queen with some honey.
No, that's Tony Sushi, the bee.
Oh.
The bee is Tony Sushi.
Okay.
Oh, no. Absolutely not.
See,
I may not be Tony.
The poor listeners are going to have no idea.
They'll learn eventually.
Should I tell?
No,
Absolutely.
No.
Okay, try Google. No, if they try Google it, maybe they'd find it.
No.
And they're going by Terry now, and they live in a big orb ship. funny how those things work out.
Well, we do like orbs.
Yeah, and then we met part of Gashram. They were inside of one of the Sun people named Slip.
Wonderful. I hope they're able to escape and survive.
I invited them back home, but we'll see how they're doing later.
Yes, we all still have very much to do before we can have any moments of peace like that. I understand that there is still a fleet out here aiming to attack us.
Yep.
Well, we'll have to do something about that, won't we?
Yeah, there's less of it that's trying to attack us, but
You always have good news for me, Keva.
I try.
So I think up on the bridge where we are now, we do a little cut over up to the bridge of the Jellyfish Junction. Everyone is getting ready because it looks like the strike is going to begin. The main fleet, much diminished but still larger than the Splinter fleet, is getting ready to attack, and the Splinter fleet is preparing to defend, and you are preparing to defend the hub as well. The Hablon as well, which has hub on it, or most of them anyway. And it's at this point that we need to decide how we're going to go about defeating or stopping in some way the Hygean main fleet.
My dog with her clickety-clacks brought up a good point. Was there not room for one little itty-bitty goat on that ship?
I didn't want to send Jolly into space.
Some animals are anaerobic. Others, however, find themselves in desperate need of oxygen from time to time.
But there were people on that ship.
People can consent to go into space.
But dogs go on car rides all the time.
This is
A car ride is not like a space ride to a space fight.
Jolly is as safe as she can be right now. Back on Hablon, on the hub, with Deg.
Yeah, probably not any vegetation now that I think about it.
Yeah.
There you go. There we go.
I didn't think it would be fair to send Jolly into space right now, into the middle of a battle.
Yeah,
Very
okay.
bad.
I'm
Jolly
sorry.
will tell our story.
My childish wishes got ahead of my rational adult thinking.
Well, it gives you even more reason to win this.
I think Hub has to explain. This is what happens. Hub has to explain to Keva. Keva's thinking for a second. She's like, "Oh, right, okay, yeah." And when we're done, Hub, you can't tell anyone this. But when we're done, and when we beat everyone, I have celebration cheese for everyone that I've been aging on the Express.
Hub nods and says, I, of course, cannot eat cheese, but I'm sure that's very exciting for everyone with a digestive system.
Yeah.
That's the last thing that Hub says before the elevator doors open. Yes, that sounds great. Okay.
Actually, could Keva broadcast to Hub what it's like to eat cheese?
You absolutely can. That is within the realm of your powers.
Oh
I'm glad you're going to say
God.
you got to shove cheese into the USB port.
No.
Do artificial intelligences dream of cheese?
That's not what the C in USB-C stands for.
Oh, no.
Okay. What do I have to roll to broadcast what it's like to eat cheese to Hub?
I'm so afraid.
I think that's something you should save for an epilogue.
That's an epilogue.
Because right now you're planning a war.
Okay.
No, Matt,
So-
I'm shoving cheese in the robot.
Speaking of which, yeah, MP is up here on the bridge with you as well. And he exchanges greetings with everyone that he knows there. And, all the people that I mentioned are on the bridge along with the Hygean fleet representatives. that you have met before. The gang's all here in the bridge in the center around all these big. They have set up glass displays, Star Wars style, instead of holo displays because they want Emran to be able to participate in the planning process.
Appreciate it.
So, Emran, you can see all of these things that they are showing as they show it. So they have a picture of, they have a map of the area. You can see it's basically the map that we have here on Roll20. On the bottom of it, there's towards the habitat. At 12 o'clock, you've got the vanguard of the Hygean fleet. And down here at, I guess 4 o'clock?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock is the Hygean dissenting fleet. And then you're in the same region around there, around 7 o'clock as well. You're in all this bottom area together.
And I would say probably around 3 o'clock, we've got the Kingdom of Zeal sort of style asteroid hanging out there.
There's asteroids that are floating around out here at like 3 o'clock and 10 o'clock.
They really look like the floating land masses from Chrono Trigger.
Maybe they are. That joke will make more sense in season 3. So, your mission...
You can't keep saying things about season 3. I don't follow it no longer.
I have to interject here and say that CD is partially modeled after one of the gurus of time.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Oh, I see that now.
So everybody's around this glass display, and you can be on both sides of it. People are using this like chalk stuff, this like wax stuff, I guess, to draw on it and like make plans about here's how we can counter this, here's how we can deal with that. And basically, you and the Express are suggested a specific task because your ship is the fastest one here. And the task that they have is for you to board the flagship.
Okay.
I am going to be... the Express is going to be so happy to hear that they are the fastest.
I'm sure it will. So that's the task that they have suggested to you. And I think as they are talking about this, looming evenfall turns towards you. Looming evenfall, a sad kindly cloud rises above the Nomad. As you may recall, is the catfish with mechanical arms and a crab tank to carry Zur around. Pronouns Zur. And looming evenfall is the one who prides herself on never lying. So as he says, now this mission, very dangerous, and you all young and vulnerable, but we feel like this is probably where you will best be used. But this is just a suggestion. There are other things that you could do. If you can do this, though, if you can cut the head off the snake, as it were, we think that the rest of the fleet will crumble.
Okay.
Who would be on the lead ship?
Well, we know that the Sun's representative is there, Emerson K. Vaughn.
Of course. Perfect, Kevin says.
There's also, military forces from the Logistocracy. There's a rumor that the Logistarch herself might be on that ship, but it's a rumor. Again, nobody has ever seen the Logistarch in person, so we don't know, but that's the rumor, that she's on that ship.
Keva writes on her scrib, look for lady wearing a crown.
Should we protect the Logistarch, or are we past bandying with political forces?
I think at this point is when Vaxel Gray steps up. He adjusts his suit over his paunch, and he says, it would be great if we could preserve the Logistarch's life. She has taken care of our people for centuries. Perhaps she has been bamboozled by this Emerson Vaughn, but she has always been ambitious. Surely she sees this move as the right one for all of our people, but morally it is not.
Emerson K. Vaughn is a bamboozler of the first degree, so I must concede that it's possible that even a centuries-old person could be taken in by him.
Quick question. How does one live to be centuries old if you're not put in a robot?
I wonder.
Okay, so Keva...
She's just a lich. She's just a lich. Just
so
fully
just
magical.
Stylish Fountain is also here, of course, and she cuts in and she says, please do not kill the Logistarch. Okay. She is brilliant and selfless, but for hundreds of years, her sole mission has been to make sure that humanity survives in the asteroid belt. As Vaxel said she thinks this is the way to do it. We disagree, but if you can, please do not kill her.
Okay, so the plan then will be we'll find her, wrap her up in spider silk, and then put her back on the ship.
If possible.
Maybe not that explicitly, but we will do everything we can to preserve her life.
Thank you. And Vaxel nods. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Eli shrugs. Look, if she gives you trouble, just, and he has mimes a gun. Pop.
Emran just flatline lips, just nods. Okay, Eli.
Vaxel and Stylish Fountain look at him with disgust and horror, and Eli again shrugs at them, and he says, look, not everybody's got as rosy a view of her as you do.
Yeah, does she have is this a monarchy that I read about monarchies?
I think it's a logistocracy.
Yeah, she controls the flow of
information.
Logistics. She controls who gets what and when and where.
So she doesn't there's not an heir or
It's just her. It's always just her.
She doesn't die.
That sounds like Sun Minister DeWinton.
Yeah, that guy sounds like an asshole too. What can I say?
I'm hoping that if we encounter the Logistarch, that we'll find out that she's not been body snatching people for hundreds of years.
I mean, we got lots of clones over in Hygeia, so that's a possibility too.
Could just be that.
But what if it's a title? They have his daughter, and then she takes over, and then she takes over?
That'd be quite the...
Vaxel and Stylish Fountain are shaking their head. No, it's always her.
All right.
It's the same one.
Interesting.
This honestly sounds like Mataratsu in the Tomb Raider game.
So that is the goal of your mission. Board and take the flagship of the Hygeian Logistocracy.
What do we know about possible approaches?
They're drawing stuff on the board, again, to show you different ways that you could get there, but all of them rely on just being as fast as you possibly can before everyone can blow you up.
Right. And the rest, the people in the Logistocracy use compressed air and
and gravity, basically.
And gravity, right. Okay. And the Express actually moves under its own power.
Yes. And this is where the but comes in.
Right.
You can only burn your engines for a minute before that will overload the Shroud's ability to hide you from the emergency.
So we either have to get the trajectory right the first time or save the engines for the final wing of it.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and having this information reiterated, Keva starts sweating. I'm the one who's gonna have to do that.
So we only have one shot.
This is an extremely dangerous mission. Not just personally for you, but for everybody here.
Yeah, Emran puts her hand on your shoulder.
I know, but Keva's the pilot.
But you're a good pilot. You're a good pilot.
Yeah, Keva says, it's maybe if I got some aviator clothes.
I think Hub is standing near you, Keva, as well, and they say, I have never seen someone meld with their machine as you have. If anyone can do this, Keva, it's you.
Well, if Keva's on that ship, I'm going to be.
Now, what we can do is we can launch you from a catapult.
Right.
We've got some set up out at the edge of our territory behind the asteroid. We can launch you from there, then you can accelerate with your engines, or you can use them at the end. Keva, that's your call. You'll know. We're going to escort you to the launch point. And Eli says, I'm going to escort you to the launch point. And there's a crackle on the radio, and you also hear from the crew of another ship. Who was the pilot of Spot?
Oh my gosh. Xavier Quag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess,
What does Xavier say?
I would be honored.
There you go. Eli and Spot. Eli on the Impertinent Warfare. Impertinent Warpath. And Xavier Quag piloting Spot, along with the rest of the crew of that ship, will be your escorts.
fully broken free of Elon Vox.
What?
Eli Vok.
Eli Vox. There's too many E names.
Emerson, Eli. Yeah, I hear you.
Emran.
Truly, fully liberated from Mr. Emerson KV's control.
Yep.
Indeed.
I'll shoot him again if I gotta. It's gonna die again.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get a better plasma cannon this time.
I hope so. That roll, good lord.
I don't want to think about the 4 ones, Matt.
No, there was a 2 in there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was 5. It was 5 dice, but none of them succeeded.
Good times.
They were bad. They were very bad.
All right, so load. What load do you want to take with you?
Heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
The chunkiest of loads.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense to me. What type of plan should we make? I should probably pull up those types of plans, shouldn't I?
Is it the first transport mission?
So your options are assault, deception, infiltration, mystic, social, and transport. Assault is do violence to a target. The detail is the point of attack. Deception is lure, trick, or manipulate. The detail is the method of deception. Infiltration is trespass unseen. Detail is the point of infiltration. Mystic is engage, mystic way, or power. The detail is the arcane power you use. Social is negotiate, bargain, or persuade. The detail is the social connection. And transport is carry cargo or people through danger. The detail is the route and the means.
We're definitely moving through danger, but is the goal of the mission to commandeer the flagship or destroy it? Or however we achieve its decapitation? That's up to us.
They want you to get onto the ship and either take it out or take it over.
Okay. Then I think we really need to plan our route and learn as much about the flagship as we can as far as points of entry and what we will be able to disable on our way to the bridge.
Okay. So let's gather information.
Sure.
Who would like to gather some info?
I'll gather some info.
All right. What info do you want to gather?
Good question. I wonder if I can use whatever sensors the rest of the Centurion fleet is using to maybe try to, if not figure out a decent path to their flagship, maybe just get a better idea of the positioning of the main fleet's ships.
Okay. So what kind of action do you want to use there?
I mean, both my study and attune are the same. So I guess I'll use study.
Okay. So do a fortune roll using your study rating.
Nice.
Hey.
Very nice.
Okay. Yeah. So you're able to find a variety of ways to improve the pathing that they have suggested to you. And you can find that if you use the catapult that they have set up and you launch some things that don't have, say, electrical systems to be scanned, you could launch a bunch of those into the fleet and they could maybe cause some damage or some distraction. Maybe if there was something you could launch that had, I don't know, a way of being controlled that could help with covering your approach.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Giant cats. No, I'm joking. Honestly, big beetles with crunchy horns.
I mean, I'm almost thinking something that could move under its own power, like some of the flying ones, in addition to just being there. Also, try to direct them to take out some of their sensory arrays, if possible.
Beetles could fly.
Can they fly in space?
I was going to say, at least for the swarm, whatever beetles the swarm has have been really geared to be tanks, and not necessarily mobile.
No, my question is, can any of them fly under their own power in vacuum?
Good question.
I mean, we could always use Star Wars rules.
Let's throw some bugs into space.
Oh, wait. Okay. This is very silly.
Okay.
This is too stupid. Okay.
No such thing.
You say it
You
right now.
put a spider.
Okay.
You put a spider on top of the other bug.
Right.
And then the spider can use its web as a grappling hook.
That's
Yes.
true. We can do that, Matt.
Yes.
That's not stupid. You've created this sci-fi reality. You sleep in it.
Listen, if there's anything we have tons of, it's spiders.
What I'm imagining is that, say that this book is the ship. Now, I only have one hand.
You can do it.
It's really hard. So what I was doing there was saying, what if we throw the spiders the ships, and once the spider's on the ship, the spider is trailing all that web, so it's stuck to the ship, and then all the other bugs can zip line on that spider web to the ship.
Yeah, I mean, that's also possible. Right. So, I mean, that's a possibility that you could do. Would anyone else like to gather information?
I don't know. Just don't ask me to try to gesture again with a book and with one hand open so that then I have to put the book in my mouth.
I won't ask you to do that.
Can Emran try to figure out what, if any, artillery so to speak, anti-air or fighter complement that the flagship has?
Like point defense or fighters?
Yeah. Does it have
sure.
point? Yeah. How would I go about doing that?
Probably looking at schematics, looking through information that's available on the Jellyfish Junctions networks.
What about more illicit networks, like someone who specifically makes a career out of attacking the Logistocracy?
You could absolutely do that. You do happen to know someone like that.
Hey, Eli, have a conversation.
Yeah. Anytime.
Do you know anything about this flagship?
Ooh, yeah. Oh, fortress in space.
Right. Looks like it.
I would not try this,
Well,
but let me see what I can rustle up for you, buddy.
I would appreciate it. Let me come with you.
I think this will be consort. Sounds like consort.
Well, I'll give it a shot with 0 dice.
Sure.
We have 3 gambits, do we?
We have 3 gambits.
Can I use the gambit every? Oop, never mind.
Keeping in mind, you cannot fail a gather information roll.
Oh, I know, but I
It just
want to
changes
actually.
the quality of information you get.
I just want to be useful, you know.
Yeah, no, it's your call if the team is okay with you doing that.
Is that all right, everybody?
Go for it.
Now, Matt, would me working with Eli push this from 0 to 1 die on its own?
No, because it's a consort roll of how well this
Oh,
roll is
no.
basically determining how much information Eli has. Because it's a
Got
fortune roll based on your consorting.
Then I think, yep, I think I'll spend a gambit and hope that we get a 6 on a risky at some point. I'm sure we will. Sure, it'll be fine. Oh my goodness.
Okay, you got a 6.
Nice.
Okay, so yeah, you get a ton of useful information, like the full schematics of the defense systems aboard the Logistocracy's flagship here. It does have a ton of point defense cannons, but you are able to identify like a few spots in there that are not adequately covered that you could maybe slip into. And yes, it does have a complement of fighters. There's not a whole lot you can do about those except maybe try and flesh them out before you get there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's my action.
Okay, let's see. So Maeve or Zora?
Oh, not me.
Oh, sorry. For some reason, I thought you went already. But yes, you as well.
No, it was Maeve or
It was
Velvet that went.
Yeah, it was Maeve who went. My apologies.
Sorry.
So Keva or Zora?
Is it possible to do a lot of like flight simulations for it? Simulations or?
You want to practice?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do you practicing for sure. Probably Helm in that case. You're simulating and using the different routes that have been identified. 5. Okay. So your simulations,
Okay, fine.
you get up to about a 60% success rate on your simulations, which is pretty good.
Hey, considering we're going up against a space titan.
Kevin's like, well, this is good since this is the first time I've played a video game, I guess. Does this
Wing
count as a...
Commander.
Yeah, Kevin like asks Hub, like, is this a video game?
Usually you play them for fun, but Hub thinks back into their memory banks. Actually, never mind. Mostly you play them to brag and insult people.
Yeah.
Well, what's the point of that?
Bragging rights are everything.
Says the player who only plays really ridiculous games that no one counts as video games.
Yes.
All right.
I play nothing skill-based.
Now, Zora, is there anything that you are doing to prepare for this?
See, I'm hard-pressed to figure something out. Zora's not much of a people person.
Zora is a military strategist, though.
Oh, that is true. All right, what can Zora do with that?
You could plan breaching exercises or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Or look at the internal schematics of the ship and look at what the best routes to the bridge would be, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean that works. I just what would I be rolling here?
I would say it could maybe be command or study.
Let me see what I do better. 1 second while I pull up my sheet again.
I can see study would be like looking at the schematics yourself in detail, whereas command would be ordering people around to like find good options for you.
Let's go with command because I'm better in command than I am with study.
Okay.
Position's just risky.
Yeah, it doesn't matter for the fortune roll.
Okay.
A 6.
Yay.
All right.
All
So
right.
you're able to, like, looking at the composition of the hull and the internal schematics, find the best points to breach and the best ways to get from breach point to bridge as swiftly and effectively as possible. So that'll help you out a lot once you're in there.
You're doing all right, folks.
That's why I'm afraid.
I'm getting the good rolls out now.
All right, it's going to be absolute mess from here on out.
One's all the way at the end of the game.
All right. So that brings us to the engagement roll.
We get +1 because we're rebels.
You do. Okay. This is the engagement roll. So we'll start with 1 for sheer luck, +1 for being rebels. Is this particularly bold or daring? Yes. So I would say that brings us to 3. Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? I think based on all the research you have done, you know the route there. So yes, in this case, with the plan that you have, you're going to overwhelm their sensors with bugs, literal, and then sneak in there with your engines off or on. We'll figure that part out. So it's 4. Friends or contacts provide aid or insight. Yes, you have +1 for that. So that's 5. Enemies or rivals interfering in the operation. Not directly in this part of it. So no. Other elements you want to consider. This is a much higher tier target than you. The Logistarch herself and her fleet are tier 5. You are tier 1. So I will take a die off for that, which still leaves you with 4 dice for your engagement roll. Keva, I think you should do the engagement roll because you are piloting the ship.
We love you. We love you so much.
No pressure.
You're
So
the best.
what do I roll for that one?
Just
4 dice.
Oh gosh.